That looks nasty. What happened?
Well, Mr. Grumbles and I were playing in the park, and I fell over and he stamped on my wrist.
What? You were playing with Chris without me?
Yeah, we quite often do that. What's the big deal?
Come back here. I'm glad you hurt yourself. I'm not surprised, you know.
Now, look, give me a hand with this bandage.
No, I've got a better idea.
What are you doing?
Well, haven't you heard? Laughter's meant to be really good for people with pain.
But that is not how it works. Sounds like a case for investigation, ouch. Laughter is something we all do.
This lot are all part of a laughter club. They get together once a week to really just do one thing and one thing only. And that is laugh their heads off. And there are scientists who believe there are significant medical benefits from this kind of laughter.
Meet Robin Dunbar, a professor of evolutionary psychology. He's very serious about laughter.
Robin, what have you discovered about laughter?
When you laugh, the brain is flooded with endorphins.
So endorphins are chemicals that make us feel good, is that right?
Yes, it helps suppress pain.
Can we test this?
Oh, we can test that. Absolutely, yes, and I have just the plan.
So in order to see Professor Robin's theory in action, I'm going to need a couple of things. First of all, 14 experimental guinea pigs. Well, hello. And secondly, a stand-up comedian.
That's handy.
We're going to try and prove that when you laugh, you can take more pain.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go!
Stage 1, pain. Our guinea pigs have to sit in a chair position against the wall until their legs hurt so much they can't take the pain anymore.
You can try this at home. It's not as easy as it looks.
Professor Robin's going to keep track of how long they last, and it's not long before our guinea pigs start dropping like flies.
You're done. That's good, Saran. These are the last two.
Stage 2, laughter. Our classroom comic making our guinea pigs giggle to increase their endorphin rush.
Stage 3, more pain.
Go!
Let's see how long they last, this time after a belly full of laughter.
So is the comedy doing anything different to their muscles at all?
The comedy is just making them laugh, and that's triggering an endorphin response.
Nothing about their leg muscles has got stronger. It's
No.
just they feel the pain less.
Yes.
So pain is in the brain.
Pain is in the brain.
Don't give up. That's good. That's good. Oh, bravo. Well done. Now sit back, lean back. Oh.
Yes!
We have a winner. You ready?
Time to look at the results and see if laughter made them last longer.
Ta-da!
This table shows how long our guinea pigs lasted before the comedy and after. The ones in red are the longest times.
So what we can see is that almost everyone, except 3 people, got better the second time. Even though you're a bit more tired, you almost all got better the second time. Why do you think that is?
I think that it distracted us. We were thinking about the laughter, so we weren't really thinking about how much it hurt.
So Ouida and Daisy are spot on.
Our second test showed our guinea pigs didn't feel as much pain. They lasted longer due to the endorphin rush released by laughter.
If there's one thing we've learned today is the power of jokes can really help you not feel pain. So I've got a bit of a joke for you, okay? 2 television aerials meet on a roof and they fall in love and decide to get married. The ceremony wasn't great, but the reception was amazing. What? I don't understand. It's Dr. Chris's favourite joke.
No, it's not, Xand. That was rubbish.
The first thing that comes to my mind when I hear the word mental health is talk about it.
You may have heard people say that life is a bit like a roller coaster. It has its ups and downs.
There are some boring bits, some tense moments, some happy and sad times, and some times that are just plain terrifying.
roller coaster, you can't have the ups without the downs! Woo! Hard work, suffering, failure, all these things should eventually make us feel good.
And sometimes it can be quite hard to tell the good times from the bad times. Like when you're in love.
That's right, when you're in love, or when you're on a roller coaster.
The bad times should pass and lead to good times. But if they don't, if you feel like getting off the roller coaster, then it's time to get some help and support.
I do feel like getting off the roller coaster.
What, are you okay?
Yeah, it's not a metaphor, I just might be sick.
Coming up,
We're getting inside the head of mental health problems.
Get your breathing under control, okay? You're going to be all right.
we're showing you how to look after your head.
Feel great. I felt great for it the whole day.
And we're putting the most common problem under the microscope, stress.
Well, I don't find what you're doing now very helpful.
But first, meet Jordan, Roseanne, Richard, and Emily.
Mental health problems can range from depression to obsessive-compulsive disorder to anxiety to eating disorders.
It's different for everyone. These guys are all unique, but they all have one thing in common.
I got through it. Hi, my name is Jordan Stevens. I'm one half of Original Kicks. My depression came from like a serious amount of pressure in my life. Becoming young and famous is like quite a thing. The depression was feeling like a big rock at the bottom of your stomach. Words are like caught in your throat. Listening and feel like you can't get out of it, but I try and like analyze it. What have I done that might have led me to feeling this way? Like, can I improve it in the future? And be very aware that like your mind can be your best friend and your worst enemy, you know? And at 22, I couldn't handle it. Took a break for 2 years. On my time off, I went to the gym, I ate healthily, and I read books. That was literally it. And by the end of that, I knew more about myself than I had done in like 4 years of fame. So my tip to someone who's like struggling with mental health is just communicate it and don't be scared of the response, just say it, because it means something. And you never know who else is feeling bad. We've all had mental health problems. I'm not ashamed, and most importantly, I got through it.
This place is super busy, and your school is probably no different. People rushing around, places to get to, not enough time to get there, and deadlines to meet, and I find it can get a bit stressful.
And stress in short bursts can be good for you. It gets you through exams or sports matches. But when it builds up and it takes over, it can have a big impact on your physical and mental health.
We've all experienced stress. That deadline for your coursework, loads to do, time ticking away, but your phone keeps going off. You feel your chest tightening and a rising sense of panic. It's a horrible feeling. So what's actually happening inside your body?
Well, adrenaline is being released from your adrenal glands, which makes your heart beat much faster.
If this happens every now and then, it's okay. But if it happens again and again over a prolonged period, it's called chronic stress, and this has a serious effect on your health.
For starters, it raises your blood pressure, putting a strain on your heart.
It suppresses your immune system, so you're more likely to get ill.
It changes your metabolism so you can put on weight and may get problems like heartburn.
And of course, it can lead to mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety, which can cause panic attacks.
Everyone in their lives will experience probably moments of severe anxiety, and that's the first step on the road to having an attack. So it might look something like this. He's clasping his hands, he's looking around, but there's not a lot of visible external signs that he's really losing control. Xand, though, how are you feeling inside your own head?
So I can feel my heart pounding, my chest is getting tighter, my hands are sweating, and all of those things are making me feel worse.
At this stage, you may be able to get the panic under control, either by moving to a different place or speak to someone and feel a bit better. But you may not, and that's when the panic can get out of control and become a full-blown panic attack. So as Xand becomes more panicky, his body releases adrenaline, and those hormones start to make his heart pound, his breathing rate increase, and that makes his body feel physically very bad. That, in turn, increases the level of panic, and so Xand gets into a vicious cycle that he is unable to control.
Anxiety or panic attacks happen because you've lost control of your breathing. You try to breathe in deeper and more quickly than normal.
Overbreathing or hyperventilating causes a decrease in the amount of carbon dioxide in your blood, leaving you with too much oxygen and making you feel dizzy.
Hyperventilation can also give you chest pains because it causes blood vessels in your body to constrict.
Add to this the fact that the release of adrenaline has made your heart pump out blood faster, and you've got sharp stabbing pains that feel like a heart attack. And that makes you panic even more.
And that's when someone needs a bit of help. I know you're feeling terrible, but everything's going to be all right. I want you to listen to my voice, close your mouth, get your breathing under control, okay? You're going to be all right. Concentrate on something else. Focus on your feet. Close your mouth. Just put your finger on your mouth. And slow your breathing down, okay? You just breathe in and out through your nose. And that's good. Now have a seat, okay? That's good. How do you feel now?
I feel very tired, and although I was only pretending to have a panic attack, I can feel my heart rate racing, and I do feel quite exhausted. So one of the things that you may have to do for someone who's had a panic attack and is recovering is getting them a glass of water, allowing them a bit of space, getting to rest, sometimes a cup of tea. All those things can really help keep someone calm.
For me, the turning point was talking to my school and my dad. My name's Richard, I'm 25 years old and I have OCD and depression. OCD stands for Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. It manifested in ways such as not being able to touch the handles for doors in corridors when I was at school, and then I wouldn't be able to touch my carpet in my room. And I've got a great relationship with my dad, but I didn't feel like I could talk to him about it. How would someone comprehend, or I can't touch my bedroom carpet? The worst it was for me was when I was practically bedbound for 9 months. I just didn't want to be here. I thought it would just be easier if I was gone. The turning point was talking to my school and my dad, and that led to me getting a diagnosis. One of the biggest misconceptions that people have about mental illness is that you get treatment and that's it, you're fine. But it's an ongoing process for the rest of your life. Some days are great days, and some days I wash my hands 100 times till they're red raw. And that doesn't make me feel bad anymore because I am learning every day and equipping myself with the tools to deal with this illness. Your brain will try and convince you that you're the only one, don't say anything, you're a freak, but you're not. And talking about that changed my life.
So we know what stress is and the damage it's doing to our bodies, but is there anything we can do about it?
To find out, I've enlisted the help of this lot. The Teen Yoga Crystal Palace group believe that doing exercise such as yoga has a beneficial effect on their mental health.
Yoga helps me be more relaxed and makes you less stressed.
It really helps you release all the tension in your body.
Yeah, it sort of helps me regulate my emotions, anything that's going on which I can't sort of access verbally.
Sounds like the perfect stress buster, but I'm putting an alternative theory to the test.
And I'm going to find out if something completely different, like this, can really help up here.
I've come to a choir rehearsal to see if singing has an effect on your mental health too.
So the new Young Voice Collective certainly sound amazing, and they look like they're having a lot of fun.
Can Xand and I scientifically show that our respective groups are reducing their stress levels?
To find out, we're running an experiment. Both Chris and I asked for saliva samples from each person in our groups before they sang a note or did a single yoga move.
You don't have to share them, by the way. You use your own, yeah? No sharing.
Next, we've asked them to do their activity for 45 minutes.
OK, guys, take it away.
Before we take another set of saliva samples.
We're going to be sending all those samples off to a lab and testing them for a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is a marker of stress.
High cortisol over long periods of time equals stress, which causes depression and anxiety.
When you're stressed, your cortisol levels go up, and when you're relaxed and not stressed, they go down.
Stand by me. Stand by me.
So time's up. Let's collect another round of samples from the yogis and the singers.
There we go, enough saliva to have a bath in.
No.
Why, don't you want to have a bath in saliva?
that's not natural.
All the samples have been sent to a lab at Westminster University. While they're being processed, I'm finding out more about cortisol from Professor Angela Clough.
Now, our cortisol levels change through the day, is that right?
Absolutely. In the brain, we have something called the body clock, which is synchronised by light. And that light, in the morning when you wake up, it gives your cortisol a surge. And that's what gets you out of bed, and it prepares you for the day ahead.
When you wake up, cortisol is the hormone that kickstarts almost every cell in your body into gear. Then it naturally wears off during the day, so you're ready to sleep soundly at night.
How is it related to stress? Why is it bad to have too much of it?
That's the thing, you see. It's also the stress response hormone.
Anything a person finds stressful causes spikes in their cortisol. Stress is interrupting their natural cortisol cycle, and this is bad for your health.
Cortisol is the link between what's going on in your mind to what's physically happening in your body.
Absolutely. Those negative thoughts can generate the cortisol response, and that will have a cascade of events throughout your body.
So back to our experiment. Can singing and exercise help you to maintain healthy cortisol levels? The saliva samples have been analysed. Let's check out the results.
Well, it's fascinating results. I'm so pleased to be involved in it. When we looked at our singing group, we found they fell 46%.
Wow. What about the yoga group?
Wow, the yoga group were very interesting. They were lower before they started. However, they had a 33% fall.
That is extraordinary.
Both groups had a significant reduction in cortisol. This means that over time, their lifestyle choices are having a positive effect on their mental health.
I think the message is that you find something that you enjoy, that does it for you, and that's going to have a similar effect.
So it's true. By measuring your cortisol, we can scientifically prove that exercise and fun activities can totally de-stress you. But you don't have to go out of your way to join a new group. There are things you can do anytime, anywhere, like mindfulness. So what exactly is mindfulness?
Well, it's a simple type of meditation. Some schools, like this one, are running mindfulness classes, but you can also find plenty of free mindfulness apps on your phone.
And if the mind wanders, just bring it back again and again.
You focus your full attention on your breath as it flows in and out of your body, trying to focus 100% on the present moment.
So what have you noticed in yourself since you started doing these classes?
I'm much more relaxed. It actually changes my behaviour because I'm more relaxed and more calm in my lessons. I usually get overstressed and I usually cry a lot. So what I do is, instead of crying, I do mindfulness from now on.
I think it's very brave of you to admit to crying about your work. I think almost everyone probably at some point has cried about schoolwork or exams. Yeah. I can remember crying at medical school. Do you know about lots of things? Yeah. Have your marks got better?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Why not give mindfulness a go? You never know, it could make all the difference. Whenever we're filming, often in between takes, Xand and I will turn to our phones, and it's usually to check social media.
It's true, and it often interferes with the working day, but it isn't just me and Chris. If you look up and down the street, you will see loads of people walking along with their faces buried in their phones. Can we ask you a question? What are you doing on your mobile phone at the moment?
I was just on Twitter.
Pokemon!
You just texted my friend.
What are your main apps?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook.
Maybe Instagram or Kik.
I use some of the gaming apps sometimes.
Which ones?
Exploding Kittens.
How many hours do you think it takes of each day?
Maybe about 4.
Be honest.
Maybe half my day.
Off your day. Do you ever think you have a problem with social media?
No.
Can any of us live without technology?
To find out, we're meeting Savannah, Tom, and his girlfriend Faith, who all love social media or gaming.
They have agreed to take part in an experiment with us, and for 3 days they are going cold turkey on technology.
Oh,
come on, Xand.
3 days. Faith, how much time are you spending on social media every day?
I use it when I wake up. It's the first thing I look at. And then I use it during lunches and breaks at school. And I use it before bed.
It's the last thing you do at night, and it's the first thing you do in the morning.
Yeah.
Tom, talk about the gaming.
So at the moment, obviously, you're going with the craze, you're playing Fortnite.
How long would you play that for in a day?
So I could play it all day, easily. Wake up, get on it straight away with some mates. And then we could easily stay on to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Now, Savannah, what kind of things are you into?
Mostly snapping Instagram.
What's your longest streak?
211 today.
Chris, How do you feel about giving up social media?
I think that will be really hard because I do that thing of, although my phone isn't charged next to my bed, get up in the morning, what are the messages waiting?
But I'm willing to give it a go. Just one final tweet. That's it, Chris. It's time to start the experiment.
Phones out, everybody, including you, Chris.
Okay.
Is everyone ready to delete?
Oh, they're wobbling. Bye, everyone.
That was very cold.
It's gone.
Oh, no.
How are you feeling?
Upset.
Upset.
Tom, I hate to do this to you. This is your best controller, right? How many hours a day on this?
Too many. Like, there's a piece of me missing.
Day one, let's see how they're getting on.
It has been hard. It's been so tempting to go on my games consoles.
It's after 7 and I've still not installed Snapchat or Instagram, so I'm really proud of myself.
The most challenging thing so far is like the fear of missing out.
But I guess I didn't realise I had a problem until I tried to give it up.
So why is everyone struggling so much? Well, it's because to a certain extent we are all addicted to our games and our social media apps.
Bright colours, images and reward systems used in apps and games flood the user's brain with dopamine, a mood-regulating neurotransmitter that triggers pleasurable feelings.
And it's those pleasurable feelings that are key to forming the habit, because you get a little hit of dopamine every time someone likes a photo, or you reach the new level of a game, or you increase your streak on a social media app.
On to day 2.
I was finding it surprisingly easier without using social media. I feel like it was a massive distraction, and now I can do more stuff. For example, today we've gone swimming.
I woke up after 11. I did a face painting thing for my mum's friend. I bought a book yesterday, Happily to Kill a Mockingbird.
It's been a tough day today, I'm not going to lie, but I've made it through.
Second day I did, fail though, as it was me and a few mates sitting there playing Mario Kart, and I joined in for about an hour or so. But after that I did give it up, and then I managed to get myself out more doing stuff.
Hi guys, Tom here, and this is what I'm doing whilst I'm on cold turkey.
Hi, it's Faith and Tom here on the last day of no using social media and no gaming. And today, instead of using our phones, we have gone to the trampoline park and we've been jumping for about an hour, flipping around, which has been quite fun.
Nice not using social media or gaming.
Yeah, we feel a lot more free.
So I'm up early, I haven't checked my social media, and actually that is meaning that I'm having a very nice breakfast for 2 with this young lady. What do you think, Lyra? Is it nice that Daddy's off his phone?
I went out on Saturday and I went out on Sunday, and you would never ever catch me outside my house on Sunday.
It seems when it comes to social media and gaming, the most important thing to help sort out your life is balance. Don't let it take over, otherwise you're missing out on other stuff.
I've learned that you don't need technology as much. I went out a lot more and I played board games with my sister, which I haven't done for ages.
I'm using a lot less of games than I was before, and I'm hoping to stop altogether because I'm realising it's taking up so much time in my life.
I thought I couldn't live without my social medias, but it just got easier.
Over the 3 days, I found I was way more present for my friends, for my family. I was less anxious, and I learned that I can survive without my phone.
And that was pretty true for Tom, Savannah and Faith as well. They all found it very difficult, but ultimately they got something positive out of the experience. Why not give it a try?
It's the illness that made me do those things and not me. Hi, I'm Roseanne, and in the past I've suffered with an eating disorder called anorexia nervosa. The way I describe anorexia is like if someone has a real fear of spiders. My fear at the time was food. So I'd lost someone really close to me and had other things going on, especially exams. Everything else in my life was out of control, and that was the one thing I could control. I could control what I ate, when I ate. I didn't tell anyone at all. I'd heard other people talking about people with mental illness in a really negative way, being called attention seekers, and I didn't want attention from it, so the best way was not to say anything. I didn't tell anyone until I got told I was going into hospital. But once I did open up, And to start with, it was through letter writing and songwriting. It became so much easier for me to talk to other people, knowing my parents there by my side if I needed it was really, really helpful. Now I realise you've got to let people in, and I let them help me when I couldn't help myself.
Lunchtime, one of Xand's favourite parts of the day.
Yes! Extra cheesy fries with a mango salsa on the side, please, Chris.
Now, you probably know that the food you eat can affect your physical health. But did you know that it also affects your mood and your mental health?
I've lined up a few volunteers to show you just how big the effect is. Meet Poppy, Lila, Jack, Molly, Samuel and Isaac.
Thank you all for helping me with this experiment. I want you to follow 2 different diets. A good diet for 2 days and a bad diet for 2 days. For the first 2 days, you'll all be eating healthy stuff like green veg, oily fish, nuts and fruit. And for those 2 days you're on the good diet, you're going to drink nothing but clear water. And then for 2 days, we're going to get you to eat a bad diet, including pizza, biscuits, sweets, chocolate, donuts. Which diet are you looking forward to?
Oh, I must say I'm looking forward to the unhealthy diet.
Definitely unhealthy diet.
Unhealthy because it's an excuse to eat unhealthily.
I don't blame them. Surely everyone wants a donut for breakfast.
You say that, Xand, but what my volunteers don't know is that the healthier diet is more than just healthy. It's a brain food diet. Your brain needs key minerals and vitamins to produce the chemicals which keep you focused and feeling good, such as B vitamins in the veg, zinc in the nuts, and omega-3 in the oily fish.
The science sounds great, but what happened in reality?
Hi, this is the first of 2 healthy days.
I'm not really looking forward to it because it's going to be bad.
I just had my healthy breakfast and it was very nice.
For lunch, I had the mackerel, better than I expected, actually.
I tried the mackerel pasta. It wasn't that good. I don't really like mackerel.
It tasted a bit weird. But it's been about an hour and a half since dinner and I still feel full.
Feel great. I felt great for it the whole day.
I think the healthy food is actually doing something. I find that revision is a lot easier when I've eaten a good meal.
Although not everybody loved the taste, the brain food diet has successfully kept our volunteers happy, energised and able to concentrate.
But what about the unhealthy diet? Will it really make that much difference to their mental health?
Well, there aren't many vitamins and minerals on this side of the table. These items are packed with saturated fat and sugars. Let's see what happens.
So this is day 1 of the unhealthy day.
I think this is the best diet ever.
So I'm looking forward to this and I really like pizza.
And I've just had dinner, which was fish and chips, that I had sausage and chips because I prefer that.
I was quite hyper. I couldn't focus on what I was doing.
I feel quite irritable and I just don't feel well at all.
I keep on getting headaches and I get really, really easily distracted.
After that, I felt quite hungry.
I'm really hungry at the moment.
My skin has become greasy and I've developed spots.
After my sugar high, I felt really, really tired.
I'm feeling tired.
Everyone loved the taste and the initial burst of energy, but then the unhealthy diet swiftly brought everyone down. They ended up tired, grumpy, hungry, and even a bit spotty.
In just 2 days, all of our volunteers reported feeling better, not just in their bodies, but also in their minds on the healthy diet.
So if you're feeling stressed, why not have a go? Chances are you'll feel better for it. Do you find it hard to get to sleep at night?
You might sleep too much, too little, or not very well at all.
Either way, in your teenage years, there's a reason for it.
We spend about a third of our lives asleep, and it's vital for giving our brains and our bodies a chance to rest and repair.
But 1 in 3 of us suffers from poor sleep, and it often starts in our teens.
We're meeting 7 tired volunteers to see if we can help.
Well, I find it hard going to sleep. but I also wake up during the night.
Always thinking about something.
I feel like it's all good until I get to the morning. I would happily stay in bed a lot longer.
I do sleepwalk quite a lot.
Sleepwalking, I used to just out of my bedroom and just stand at the top of the staircase staring down at my parents.
I sleep quite deeply. I'll sleep through an alarm.
Well, school times is like I get sleepy and then half an hour, and then when I have holidays I sleep quite like 8 to 9 hours.
Running the clinic today is sleep expert Dr. Jessica Hayton.
Are you worried about this?
So it is to do with some of the physical and biological changes, and also social media and scrolling through on your phones before bed. We'd expect teens to be sleeping between 8 to 10 hours, when in reality, usually about 7 hours or less.
What can we do to actually help our tired teens?
So what we're going to do to start is we're going to measure your sleep. So I've got some actigraphy watches.
The volunteers are also going to be recording their own sleep diaries and will be monitoring their sleep with night vision cameras.
The watch records my movement and sleeping pattern, and I'm really tired and hopefully it won't take me too long to go to sleep.
Right now I'm reading a book. I'm feeling really tired.
I'm very tired and I've got my sleep watch on. I'm quite tired because I've been on my feet all day, so I'd really like to go to bed.
I slept okay, but I woke up at 4 o'clock. Don't know why.
I ended up going to sleep at 5 to 3.
Last night I did go to sleep really, really late because I was out with my mates.
I kept waking up and it took ages to get to sleep in the first place.
So it sounds like a rough few nights' sleep for most of our volunteers. The sleep tracker watches and night vision cameras can reveal just how rough.
The average time in bed for our volunteers was 9.5 hours, but actual sleep was a lot less at just 6 hours and 17 minutes.
So what's keeping them up? The main problem for all our volunteers was sticking to regular bedtimes, confusing their body's internal clock, and a common problem was looking at phones.
Screens release a blue light which fools your brain into thinking it's daytime and stops the sleep hormone melatonin from being released.
So it's best to avoid screens before bed, and Dr. Jessica has some more advice too.
So try to have a regular sleeping routine. Try to stick to it even on weekends and during school holidays. Exercising regularly is great, but not before you go to bed. If you feel stressed, anxious, worried or upset, try to talk to somebody before you start your bedtime routine.
A week later, have Jessica's tips helped?
I've been following the advice I got for my sleep, which was mainly to not exercise in bed, and I'd say my sleep's a lot better.
So I think I got around maybe 8 hours sleep, so I feel really energetic this morning.
This sleep program, as it will make me improve, probably will do this now, like never go on my phone at night and stuff. Because I feel like waking up, like right now, I feel very awake.
Sleep tight. Here's to better Zeds all round.
There are a lot of reasons why someone might experience a mental health problem, but one of the most common triggers among young people is social exclusion. Being left out, not being invited to a party, being bullied, and there's some evidence that your brain interprets social exclusion in the same way it interprets physical pain.
To find out more, I need to examine a few brains, or maybe I leave that to Dr. Lucy Foggs from University College London.
You study social exclusion. I think probably everyone has experienced that at some point. And it feels really horrible.
Makes you feel like you don't belong, and that's quite a fundamental part of our well-being.
So researchers have looked inside people's heads when they're being socially excluded.
Yes.
And what do you find?
We find some activation in areas that are also involved in the experience of physical pain.
If we take a look at a scan of the brain, this is the area that deals with physical pain. And that's exactly the same area that's affected by social pain, like being bullied or left out. And this shows that social pain is just as significant as physical pain.
There's certainly plenty of evidence that repeatedly being rejected can be a massive risk factor for developing mental health problems.
Wow.
Today, Dr. Lucy is running an experiment with 5 volunteers to assess the impact of social exclusion on their mental health.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to play a simple game.
It involves questionnaires where they'll grade their emotions and a basic ball-throwing game where you'll play catch with 2 other characters. I'm having a go too.
So at the moment, this is a happy game. We're all throwing the ball around. And I have to say, it's not the world's best computer game, but it's quite cheerful playing it.
Dr. Lucy tells the volunteers that they're playing against real people online. In fact, it's just the computer, and it's programmed to include you in the game on your first go, and then on your second, it completely leaves you out.
Come on, to me, to me, to me. Over here, come on. What you'd think is, if they stopped throwing the ball to me, it would be boring. And instead, I'm sitting here watching these 2 characters playing a game without me, and I feel really gutted and left out.
Well, how did this lot feel?
I'm not that good because, like, I wasn't involved.
For excluded in the second game, and that you're being ignored.
And how does it feel to feel left out?
Not nice.
Did it affect your mood?
Yeah.
And what did you think of the other 2 characters in the game?
I think they were a bit greedy, a bit selfish.
I didn't like them.
Why not?
Because they're mean.
You were really annoyed.
Like, the game, it shouldn't exist, basically.
Well, it shouldn't exist.
No.
Wow.
Dr. Lucy has analysed these results, and with all our volunteers, their happiness levels decreased as their anxiety levels increased. This matches the result of thousands of people who've taken part in this experiment. Social exclusion leads to stress.
Is it different for teenagers and adults?
There's a greater impact on teenagers than for adults. It makes them feel more upset and more anxious. I think there's also something quite unique about the context that teenagers are in that they're at school, they spend a lot of time with their peers, that there's really no let-up from the social environment.
What's so important about the research that they're doing here is that they're able to see the effect that social rejection has on people's lives and people's moods. And what you find is even with that very simple computer game, the effect is really, really significant. So the next time you see someone who's left out, try and include them, because it could have a huge effect on their lives.
Had the book for a couple of months, and I decided to see the school counsellor. She helped me really understand how it is an illness. So I'm Emily, and I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I was 15 and feeling really sad. Like at school, I remember just like having crying outbursts where I didn't really know why. I got really paranoid. If I was walking down the road and I smile at someone, they don't smile back, I'd be thinking they hate me. I decided to see the school counsellor, so she helped me really understand how it is an illness and how many people struggle from it. So that helped me because it made me feel like, okay, I'm not on my own. I don't go as low as I used to before because I do some meditation. It helps bring you back down to earth. Another way I deal with depression and anxiety is by doing photography. I find it like a really good way of just escaping and you're not thinking about your illness. I would say to friends and family, don't try and tell them to snap out of it because it's an illness, and just letting them know that whenever they need you, you're going to be there for them. I think that's the best thing you can do.
It's essential we keep an eye on our family and friends because it can be easy not to notice when someone has a mental health problem. But we've got some simple signs to look out for.
It might be a change in sleeping habits. Is your friend sleeping all the time or not at all?
Have you noticed a change in eating habits? They might not be eating enough, or maybe they've started eating too much.
It could even be a change in behaviour. Has your mate stopped hanging out with you like they used to? Do they have sudden outbursts of anger? Sometimes it might just be a change of tone in a message or a post.
Any change in normal habits and behaviour over a prolonged period of time can be a sign that something isn't right, and the best thing you can do to help is to talk to them.
So you may spot that a friend's having difficulties, or they may come to you with a problem. But either way, what should you do next?
And this is a thing that actually happens to me and Chris all the time. We do bring our problems to each other and confide in each other, and it's very hard to know what to say.
We've come to meet Caroline. She's been a school counsellor for over 25 years, supporting hundreds of students.
Caroline's going to listen in as I try to help Xand with some issues in his life.
Tell me about it.
I'm
just not getting enough sleep. I'm always tired and irritable.
So why don't you go to bed a bit earlier?
There are too many things to worry about.
It is difficult, but there are a lot of people who are struggling more than you.
I know there are people having a worse time than me. That doesn't make me feel any better. I like this girl and she just stopped answering my texts.
Why don't you show me the
texts? I don't want to show you the text.
Well, I can't help you with the text if you don't show me the text. So,
it seems to me you're just getting annoyed at me. You were the one that wanted to hear my problems. I don't find what you're doing now very helpful. I can't quite see how anything's gonna get better.
So what I'm feeling now is I don't know what to do. Caroline, what should I be doing?
Why do you want to fix him? You're very much wanting to have answers, and some problems don't have answers.
So I should just listen to Xand, not jump to give advice.
Didn't feel like you were listening. It did feel judgy.
I judged you and felt that you should do some things or that you shouldn't do other things.
You can't know how he's feeling.
I got this wrong. Don't judge. Just reassure your friend you're there for them.
I think it also really helps to talk to somebody who's not involved.
The temptation is to go, if I'm a really good friend, I can also be your counsellor. And those two things are not necessarily true together.
So don't be afraid to get help from an adult you trust, because someone like a counsellor may be the best person to deal with the situation.
So how would you react if someone confided in you?
I would find it a privilege that they trusted me and was able to tell me such a big thing.
Because bear in mind, this is a dark time for them. They do need help.
It's them trusting me with a piece of their life, something that they've not been able to tell anybody else.
But I think if it was too much of a big problem, I would tell them to get professional help.
Counselling can make a really tough, a hard, lonely situation a lot easier.
So if you spot a friend who needs support, listen, don't judge, and get help from an adult you trust. Doctors and scientists understand physical health pretty well, but when it comes to mental health, there's still a lot more research that needs to be done.
The most important thing to remember is that if you or someone you know are going through a rough time or worse, the best thing you can do is talk to someone you trust, a teacher, a counsellor, a friend. You're not alone, and there are things you can do to get help.
You can try mindfulness, exercise, eating brain food, or singing your heart out with your mates. All of these things can help you to feel better.
There might not be an instant fix, but you will get through it, just like the people we heard from.
So look after yourselves and each other.